So this NFC South is really good, really competitive, right? The Saints and Panthers both have 10 wins, although the Saints beat Carolina twice. Here's Atlanta right there, 9-5, and they beat New Orleans already. Tampa's car in this race, they're a couple laps behind, Charles, but the division, ultra competitive, could have 3 teams in the playoffs. And here's what's at stake today for these Falcons and Saints. The winner is in the playoffs. We know that. And if the Saints win and the Panthers lose, the Saints will actually win the division today. So that is what we have here. A lot on the line from New Orleans. Merry Christmas to you. Welcome aboard. And here we go. NFC South tilt. And a lot on the line. So the Saints won the toss. They deferred, and the Falcons will start with the ball on their own 25-yard line with the reigning league MVP, Matt Ryan, taking the field, who has won his last 3 times against New Orleans.
Didn't play particularly well in their first meeting on a Thursday night in Atlanta. What he wants to do is get that running going and make sure when they get a chance for big shots downfield that they hit them early.
That's the one thing they struggled on this year, the big plays, which was such a big part of their team last year. This place is already rocking and rolling on play 1. Here is Ryan, the fake to Freeman. He's got Julio Jones open, and he's got the catch. And he's out of bounds after a gain of 8 yards. Marcus Williams made the hit. Jones is a guy they like to get going early and often.
Watch Julio Jones, number 11 in white, going across field at zone coverage, so Marshon Lattimore is not going with him. What the Falcons did on the first play was use the aggression and this crowd intensity that the Saints brought with them against them. They came after Matt Ryan. They came after the running game. He's got out of the pocket and hit a pass.
They give Jones 9. It's a 2nd down and 1. They'll run it. It's Devontae Freeman, right side, spinning his way for a 1st down for Atlanta. So injury-wise for today, when you're looking at it, they're always a factor late in the year. Both of these teams are pretty healthy. Andy Levitre, starting left guard, is out again with a triceps injury. He tried to go, couldn't do it. And so Ben Garland will start in his place as he has done the last couple of weeks. So a 1st down after 2 plays for New Orleans, or for Atlanta, excuse me. Pitch out. Freeman has a wall. Freeman gets the edge. Devontae Freeman with a big gain into Saints territory. There is a flag, though, all the way back at the 40, so hang on. Pete Morelli is our referee today in New Orleans. And this one is coming back.
Number 70 out there. 10-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
And that was such an unnecessary hold there by number 70, Jake Matthews. To watch Devontae Freeman, Matthews number 70, if he just stays in positions right there and does nothing, guess what? Freeman's already got to the corner. That block that he tried to execute was one that was unnecessary because Freeman was already where he needed to be and passed him.
Penalties in the first matchup killed New Orleans. It was a big factor. Now, Atlanta has the first big penalty. Tevin Coleman in the backfield, number 26 for the 1st time today. And they'll fake it to him. Ryan has a lot of time. Now being chased on the run. Looking, he's going to tuck it and run, and Matt Ryan is a good run. Ball comes out late. I didn't see a signal. I'm waiting for any signal here. And
2nd down.
There we go. He was down. Let's look.
See Matt Ryan going to the ground, has the ball tucked. He's fine. Hitting the ground. And is he touched by a defender? As he's going down, he goes down. They determined that he was touched by a defender while on the ground before the ball popped free.
So Ryan with a 2nd down and 8. Coleman again. In trouble, and he is buried by Manti Te'o.
We talk all the time about teams wanting to blitz and pass situations. How about run situations? Look at Manti Te'o. Times it up perfectly before number 71, Wes Schweitzer, can get over there and block him. He's through the gap, and right into the chest of Tevin Coleman as he receives the handoff. Te'o's played very well the last few weeks as their middle linebacker.
It is deafening in the Superdome right now on the opening drive. 3rd down and 12. Ryan looking, stands in, fires in. Incomplete. Julio Jones, the intended receiver, and there was the excellent rookie Marshawn Lattimore.
I think this is going to be a missed opportunity for Atlanta, though, because look at the route by Julio Jones. The ball's there. Good play by Lattimore. I take it back. It looks like Lattimore may have gotten a hand in, and he did. I thought that got to Jones clean. It did not. Give Lattimore credit. Hand in, knocked it away, forces a punt.
Lattimore made the Pro Bowl this year for plays like that. He played Jones well just a couple weeks ago when they met on a Thursday night. So Atlanta will punt. Here is Bosher. Terrible punt. Low fading kick. Tommy Lee Lewis at the 20, 30. 35 in good field position for New Orleans. Toilolo on the tackle. But Drew Brees will take over in a good spot. Scoreless game early. And we're back. And so the Saints will take over on offense. Atlanta had a couple opportunities. A penalty negated 22 yards on their opening possession of a potential big run, and they punt. And here is Drew Brees, who's playing great this year. 5 straight 100-plus passer rating games. It's the longest active streak in the league. And they will start it with Mark Ingram in the backfield. And they will give it to Ingram on the run, who barrels his way out to the 44, and a good start for Ingram and the Saints, who are, you know, I know they've got Drew Brees, Charles, but they are a running team.
And that's what they're all about, and they've got their offensive line intact for this game. And Larry Warford, Ryan Ramczyk, Andrus Peat, Teron Armstead, and of course led in the middle by Max Unger. They want to run block first. And then of course out wide, Michael Thomas is our featured attraction. Let's see how he gets going when he gets back on the field.
And Alvin Kamara is in the game, number 41. He lines up in the slot now. He is incredibly versatile. On a 2nd down, 4-man rush. Brees going to let it fly. He goes for Kamara, and he hauls it in. Right to the rookie for a huge pickup, and just like that, 25 yards.
And when he gets out like this, you have to treat him like a wide receiver, so they run their safety, Keanu Neal. But look right there. The Saints will call that a rub route by Josh Hill, the tight end. Defensive backs will call that a pick. However you want to define it, if there's no flag, it's a legal play, and they sprang Alvin Kamara free for a big gainer.
And so already they get Kamara involved. He was hurt. He was concussed on the first series against Atlanta 2 weeks ago. He got the ball 4 times on that first series, and you know he's going to be involved today. Here is Ingram, though, back in the game. Follows a lead block and powers his way down to the 27-yard line. So quite the start for New Orleans.
And you mentioned, and here we look at the defense for the Atlanta Falcons. They've got to have a tough task on their hands today, especially inside for Dontari Poe 92 and Grady Jarrett 97. Can they handle the inside running game of New Orleans so they can't get to all the other offense that they want to run on the perimeter?
Brees to throw, coming near side, that's completion. There is Michael Thomas, and for New Orleans, good to see him in there. He was added to the injury report late last night with a hamstring. Didn't know if he would play, but obviously he's in and he makes the catch.
And see him just a speed out, just takes 2 steps, gets to the sideline. Desmond Trufant breaks on the ball, but the ball's perfectly placed, and they pick up a quick first down.
Think about this for Thomas, who's had an unbelievable start to his career. He's 4 catches away from Jimmy Graham's single-season team record of 99 catches in a year. He's been amazing. Both running backs in the game. Here's Kamara on the jet sweep, gets a block. And Kamara gets down to the 17-yard line of the Saints with chunks on every play.
And you mentioned Alvin Kamara, obviously twice now for making plays. When he's in the ball game, all that Sean Payton, the head coach and play caller, is thinking about, what other ways can I get the ball in his hands? As a runner, as a receiver out wide, as a slot guy, jet sweep we just saw there. There's a lot of offense they didn't get to run with him in the Atlanta game in Atlanta because of his injury early. We'll see that today.
2nd down and 6. Ingram bounces outside. Not much there. Brooks Reed going to take him down. So how good has the running game been for New Orleans? Well, why don't we take a look, okay? It reminds you of 2009 in a way. NFL ranks since week 6. This is, by the way, after the bye, and they traded Adrian Peterson, all number 1 in the league. Look at this duo, Ingram and Kamara. Scrimmage yards, almost 2,800, 23 touchdowns, which is insane. It's the best in the league. It gives you an idea of just how good, how ridiculous they've been. And then this will cap it off, Charles. First running back duo, 2 running backs to make the Pro Bowl since 75. Kamara in there now on a 3rd down and 3. They flip it to him. Tries to get right side, and he is buried. That was some play by Vic Beasley.
People think about Vic Beasley as strictly being a pass rusher, okay? Now they're getting him in playing a lot more defensive end to do that. But how about him reading the running play and gets inside the attempted block there by number 83, Willie Snead. He was so quick off the ball that Snead never had a chance to get his hands on him and get his body in front of him.
So now the Saints will settle for a field goal try. It'll be 40 yards from Will Lutz. And New Orleans in front early. Falcons D holds, but a good opening drive, and it's 3-0 Saints. The last drive, the opener for Atlanta, they missed a couple big opportunities, right? Devontae Freeman had this run negated by Jake Matthews, didn't have to hold it, took away 22 yards. And then Julio Jones was open, pass got there a little late, and then Lattimore has been outstanding with a great knockaway. So they punted, Saints go down and get a field goal. That's where we are, 3-0. Each team's had the ball once, and Lutz will kick it off after his 40-yard field goal.
Don't forget about focus for both of these teams. This is the holiday, Christmas season. These guys have lives too, trying to navigate those as well as get ready to play this one. Let's see how it goes during this game.
And this one's going to take it out here with Roberts looking to be aggressive, and that was a horrendous decision. And so Atlanta with bad field position to start. Down to the field we go now with Pam Oliver.
And they're having a lot of focus, obviously, on those outstanding running backs. But let's not forget the battle of wills between the talented Atlanta Falcons wide receivers and those upstart Saints cornerbacks. Now, defensive coordinator Dennis Allen, he told us that it is extremely important to be physical with Julio Jones and company. Steve Sarkisian, the Atlanta offensive coordinator, is aware of that. He says it's important to put the group into favorable formations. Now we're talking a little too handsy. 10 holding penalties for that group, second most in the league.
Well, here's Ryan, Pam, under pressure, and he gets it to Jones that time. So under duress, Ryan fires on target, and there is Jones.
Well, on cue, as Pam told us, make sure you stay with Julio Jones, and you're going to be aggressive with him as a defender. Well, Atlanta's going to be aggressive with him, wanting them to find the football. So that play was made 2 ways. 1, Julio Jones staying with the route, and 2, the movement skills of Matt Ryan in the pocket. When he climbed the pocket straight upfield and bought extra time for Julio Jones to come open.
Lattimore on Jones is going to be a big matchup today. It's on the bottom of your screen right now. A couple of Pro Bowlers going at it. First down, they'll run to Freeman. Up the middle, not much there. And Charles, it's interesting because the Saints play as much man defense as anyone, so that is a very important matchup.
It's a monster matchup. And remember, Marshawn Lattimore, Pam talked about the upstart corners.
We
have a late flag here.
Charles, that came very late.
Pete Morelli and his crew are going to discuss it.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 24. Offense, 15-yard penalty, and the down will count. Second down.
It's the second big penalty against Atlanta, negating things. That wasn't a huge run, but it kept them on schedule for what they're doing offensively. He catches a shoe on him as the guy's getting up from the pile and takes exception to it. And now he's getting up and he's getting into it with David Onyemata.
Where's the penalty?
The only thing I can say is the penalty came if they heard something he said. I didn't see any pushing or shoving there.
Second and 22. Freeman lines up as a wideout at the bottom of your screen. Ryan, quick hitter. Gabriel on the screen. Taylor Gabriel gets a block. Big play to Taylor Gabriel, who's been relatively quiet in this offense, but that gets back a large chunk.
So watch the block here. And then you also get a block from Mohamed Sanu, number 12. Block here. And then you'll see a block by Austin Hooper, number 81. Wes Schweitzer, number 71, clearing a path as well. Interesting that the first screen pass of the game came from the Atlanta Falcons. That's the New Orleans Saints staple. They will run around 10 screens per game. Sometimes you want to out-screen the screeners, and Atlanta fires the first shot.
Play clock's at 2. They'll get it off on third down. Freeman will run it, and he did not get there. He's going to be a yard shy. And you see the spot in our yellow first down line. So Atlanta looks like they're going to have to punt. While they decide that, we've got a game break for the first time. Check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. We head to Tennessee following a Marcus Mariota interception. Jared Goff finds Todd Gurley. We've seen that a lot of times this year for a 3-yard score. Rams' new kicker would miss the extra point. They're up 6-0 with a win against the NFC West. Kevin?
Carissa, thanks. So 18th touchdown for Gurley. You want a measurement here, do the Falcons. Meanwhile, missed extra point significant.
Yeah, because remember Greg Zuerlein, who would be their Pro Bowl kicker, got hurt this past week. Hurt his back, gone for the season. A new kicker in the name of Sam Ficken. So that changes what you do offensively for the Rams, because once they crossed about the 45-yard line plus, they were in field goal territory with Greg Zuerlein.
So Atlanta, Charles, looks like they're going to go in their own territory in the first quarter. Do you agree?
I don't like this call at all from Dan Quinn for this reason. You've got an amped-up crowd on the road with a very hot offense that you're playing against. I think it's too early to make this gamble. I would punt the ball away and take the field position, put my defense back out there.
4th and a yard. Look at the Wildcat formation. Devontae Freeman is back there, and now they call a timeout. Confusion everywhere. Play clock was running down. Matt Ryan was going off the field to call a timeout. And so not exactly what Dan Quinn was hoping for. We'll take a break as well. 3-0 New Orleans. Back in a moment. So the Falcons will go. They did not change their mind after the timeout. 4th and 1, own territory.
But they did get out of the Wildcat and bet their quarterback back under center, which is the right move.
They will run it. Freeman, and he's got it. I'll tell you what, that is a gutsy call. You look horrible if it didn't work, but it worked. And hang on, there's a penalty, and it's not going to work.
Offense. 5-yard penalty, still full count.
So it's going to be right here, the fullback, Derek Coleman. And he just gets it. He tries to get in motion. Watch, he gets that little bit of emotion before the ball is snapped. It's very, very close. And now Dan Quinn will have to punt the football. Remember, when this whole sequence started, I was on record as not going to not go for it. But when they came out and did Wildcat things, I was doubly against it. I thought the right move was getting Matt Ryan back under center. They picked it up, but got the motion penalty against them. Now they have to punt it away anyway.
But they showed the Wildcat formation, which they haven't done, and they used the timeout. So not what the Falcons wanted. Sloppy start for them on offense. Bosher with a good kick this time. Tommy Lee Lewis looking for a return at the 10. And he slips and falls across the 15, and New Orleans will take over. Atlanta, when you look at their offense last year, they were a juggernaut. 11 times, 30-plus on the scoreboard. This season, only 4. Matt Ryan was the MVP. He was off the charts. He's been good this year, but nothing can compare to what he did last year. So there's a lot of reasons why Atlanta has had some struggles. Look, they still have 9 wins, but it's been harder.
And 26 drop passes will contribute to your rating being down. Those are some touchdowns that didn't get put on the board. There were also some interceptions added because of guys bobbling the football and popping it up for defenders. But to put a cap on what we just saw with Atlanta, you mentioned that they showed the Wildcat. Even bigger to me, Kevin, they showed confusion. And for defenses, when they see offenses that are confused and not sure about themselves, they become bolder on defense. For New Orleans, they liked what they saw.
And the Saints had a good opening drive. Resulted in a 40-yard Will Lutz field goal. And here they go again, 1st and 10. This time from their own 17. Breeze looks left now, right? Gets Kamara again. Has already been a huge part of this game plan. He's out of bounds up near the 24-yard line. And so Kamara already now, Charles, he's touched the ball 4 times.
And right now, they're getting the matchup that they like, and that's Alvin Kamara. And look who's guarding him, Keanu Neal, who's a big thumping defensive back, has gotten better in pass coverage, But this is not his forte, being out in space with a shifty guy like Alvin Kamara. If the Saints continue to get that matchup, they'll continue to feed Alvin Kamara. They'll like that one all game long.
33, 33! Hey, like 4-5, like 4-5! Brady, what's up?
Second down. Ingram, the run. Mark Ingram. Not much there. You know, interesting on the Kamara matchup, Deion Jones is a guy that we thought would be a huge factor, number 45 for Atlanta, because of his speed.
And he's going to be, depending on where they want to go with the football. Remember the play he made in the first game was against the tight end Josh Hill.
Right.
Where he intercepted it in the end zone. Not likely for Deion Jones to be matched up with Alvin Kamara. As fast as Jones is, that's not a matchup that they're going to like either. But I also will tell you that Keanu Neal is not a good matchup for Atlanta with Kamara as well.
Not many are.
You got to think about a cornerback, maybe your third QB.
This time, though, it looks like Jones is following Kamara. Kamara easy to spot with the red cleats today. Give it to him. Up the middle. Good cut. Kamara making it work at a first down. That was all him.
About the vision of Alvin Kamara there, because watch what he's going to see here as he spies it. See him go up there, he sees it, and watch him bounce to the left because he reads the blocking there that he got from 89 Josh Hill and 72 Teron Armstead. Cut off of their blocks, their down blocks inside. He cut to the outside and picked up the first down.
Ready! Brady, what's up?
Third first down for New Orleans. Breeze on the fake. Here comes pressure, setting up that screen. They're so good at this. Ingram rolling across the 40 and another first down. As Drew Brees, now the third quarterback ever over 70,000 career yards.
Well, the first screen of the game came from the Atlanta Falcons, but this is what New Orleans does. This is their forte. They'll fake it, look back the other way, and now he's coming right back to his left to Mark Ingram. Makes you think you've bypassed him, and look at him read the block and get one from Andrus Peat, number 75. For Atlanta, they have to tackle really well when those guys catch the ball in the screens.
Kamara's lined up as a wide receiver. Neal's on him again, Charles, top of the screen. That's the matchup you said you didn't like for Atlanta.
I think Drew Brees is going there right now.
Play clock at 1. He's got to get it off. He looks that way, throws that way, and incomplete. That time Neal was up to the task.
I'm actually surprised by the route. I thought with that route being singled up to the top side of the screen that he'd take him downfield.
Went with the slant, and Keanu Neal made a nice play. So a second down at 10 is coming for Atlanta.
I like what you just pointed out. A nice play by Keanu Neal.
Mentioned that when Breeze completed that last pass. Third ever. That's a lot of yards. Congratulations to Drew Brees. Back to throw. Some pressure comes. He's in trouble, and down he goes. Courtney Upshaw came through the middle and made the play for the sack.
And this is Courtney Upshaw's first sack of the season. Came into the game with 5 tackles. Okay, began the season as a starter, and look at him here. Came into the league as an outside linebacker, moved to defensive end. Notice he was on his feet like an old outside linebacker, his old days at Alabama, and beat Teron Armstead inside and was on Drew Brees before he could focus downfield.
Charles, the Saints have been sacked the fewest times in the league, 17. Atlanta sacked them twice last time, though. They've gotten to him. That creates a 3rd and 20 for Brees. 4-man rush. Steps up, throws Kamara again, has the catch, breaks a tackle, and now he gets decked to the ground, and a long 4th down and a punt coming.
And that's exactly what the Atlanta Falcons are looking for from their defense. Get them into a long yardage situation, let them throw the ball short, rally up and make the tackle. You and I had a conversation with Marquand Manuel, the defensive coordinator of the Falcons. We said, what's the keys to this game? And he said, their screen game and being able to tackle an open field. He said our first contact needs to be our last contact. Don't let them break tackles.
Thomas Morstead to punt it away. Gets it off. Andre Roberts waits back. High kick. Fair catch called for and received. And Atlanta will start it from their own 24. So the Falcons defense does their job. Upshaw with his first sack of the year. Atlanta football, but they trail it early. 3-0 Saints with 27 seconds to go in this first quarter. Falcons have the ball for the 3rd time on their own 24. They've been a little discombobulated so far in offense. Tevin Coleman in the game, a running back. He'll get it. Coleman running right, and Coleman nowhere to go. Let's go downstairs to Pam Oliver. Pam.
Yeah, Kevin, fullback Derek Coleman. He took a long time to move away from that mistake that was calling back Devontae Freeman's run on 4th and 1. Julio Jones, he took exception to that. He went over to Coleman and said, let it go. He wants his fullback's head in the game.
And Pam, thanks. That's great. Jones is great with that. It should be pointed out, Coleman is the only deaf player in the league, but he reads lips. So I believe he understood the message, believe me. Good first quarter, competitive, NFC South, exactly what we thought. 3-0 New Orleans after 1. This game goes to the playoffs. Saints with a 1-game edge. The Panthers also have 10 wins. They're tied with the Bucs right now at 3. But New Orleans beat them twice this year, so they've got the edge over Carolina. 2nd and 11 for Atlanta. We start this second quarter from New Orleans. They're down 3-0. Here's Matt Ryan firing, and he's got a completion to Julio Jones, who has his 3rd catch of the day and a first down out to the 38-yard line.
And notice what Steve Sarkisian, the offensive coordinator, is doing with Julio Jones early. Look how he gets him right in there with Austin Hooper to make it hard for anyone to get up and press coverage and knock him off his route early. So expect to see a lot of bunch formations, stack formations, see Julio Jones on the move to try and get him away from that coverage of Marshawn Lattimore. The more he's on the move and the more he's hidden, the more effective they expect him to be downfield.
Falcons bring on the fullback, and Coleman at running back on a first down. They pitch it to Tevin Coleman, who missed last week with a concussion, and Coleman is going to pick up 2 against this Saints defense that has been better than they've been in years.
And part of the reason is what Pam Oliver talked about at the beginning, that young secondary being so aggressive. But a bigger reason is Dennis Allen back for his 2nd stint as defensive coordinator, but how much more physical they've gotten as a defense. And he said the key to the game, he said, I can give you all the normal stuff, take the ball away, do all that. We have to out-physical Atlanta in this game. That's going to be what decides this one.
Julio Jones, top of your screen. The rookie Marshawn Lattimore on him as per the norm. 2nd down. 4-man rush. Ryan fires near side. First down. It's Devontae Freeman who has the catch. He beat Robertson in coverage. Falcons trying to go quick here. Blitz, everybody moved.
False start. Number 14, offense. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
That's the 4th penalty on Atlanta here today.
And with the noise of this stadium, the receivers have to look inside and see the ball snap. You see Justin Hardy's doing that and gets going too fast anyway. Ken Crawley points him out. I think they could have gotten 2 or 3 Falcons on that play. Guys were moving a little bit quicker than they should have been.
Charles, it's always loud here, but this is extraordinary today. And it's been a factor. I agree with you. I think it's led to a couple Atlanta penalties. 1st and 15. They'll pitch to Freeman. And he has nowhere to go. Manti Te'o. And another penalty flag on this play. So let's see what this one is.
Manti Te'o's having himself a game here early.
Sure is.
In this one.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask. Number 24, the offense, 15-yard penalty. Still first down.
Not a call you get very often when a running back. Okay, so watch Te'o 51. What happens here is that he's kept clean by his defensive front, meaning they absorbed all the blockers of Atlanta and allowed him to run free to the football. And there's the face mask. Freeman getting that up into the mask of Te'o and actually hooks him with what looks like one of his fingers and pulls the mask down.
It's that hook. It's that hook at the end. I think that really got him. 2nd personal foul on Freeman and a 1st and 30. Look to set up a screen. They're going to go back to Julio Jones. Nicely tackled I mean, that was some play by Sheldon Rankins, a defensive tackle, but another penalty here. And I think it's on Atlanta again.
Pass interference, number 12. Offense, 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Likely blocking downfield before the ball is gone was Mohamed Sanu. You get that 1-yard cushion to do it. Watch Sanu, 12. He's downfield more than a yard. He's already blocking before the ball's out of the hands and gets to Julio Jones. And that's what they call the penalty. But look at Sheldon Rankins, as you pointed out, number 98. Rushed the passer, retraced, and went out into the flat and made the tackle.
You know, Atlanta is the 8th least penalized team in the league. They are not a big penalty team, so this is stunning. 6 penalties, 30 yards and penalties on this drive. They'll run. Freeman up the middle, short game. Give me an idea. The penalties the last time they met 2 weeks ago were a huge factor, but they went the complete other way. The Saints gave Atlanta 9 first downs via penalty. Here, it's the Falcons offense shooting themselves in the foot.
And the New Orleans people, fans, that's all they've talked about. When I checked into the hotel here, the person checked me and said, hey, we got cheated last game by the officials. So don't think that hasn't been a factor on their minds as they've gotten ready this week.
Here's Ryan standing in. Hooper has a catch out short of the 30. Give me an idea how ridiculous this is. Atlanta has to get all the way down to the New Orleans 41. You don't see that very often.
Steve Sarkisian has a lot of plays on his chart. Right now he's at 3rd and 30. There aren't many 3rd and 30 ones there. So look at where they have to go.
That's a long way. Ryan in trouble. Down he goes. Cameron Jordan with the sack. His 11th of the year.
And his 9th all-time of Matt Ryan. Cameron Jordan is having a year for the ages. Watch him coming off of the, excuse me, I got the wrong guy circled. He's coming from the opposite side and cuts back inside to make the play. Started upfield, came back inside, and puts Matt Ryan down. Cameron Jordan plays the run very well, plays the pass very well, having a terrific all-pro type season.
And so now it's on Bosher. Getting away, that almost got blocked. Tommy Lee Lewis going to call fair catch, and he'll do that at the 20. Defenses, penalties, that's the story of this one so far. New Orleans lead and their football. Well, Saints defense doing their job. Penalties for Atlanta have helped as well. And it's 3-0 New Orleans as they get the ball back. And all things considered, Charles, Atlanta's looked so off on offense and how bad that series went. Here are the Saints starting all the way back at their own 21.
They got an excellent punt from Matt Bosher to help them flip field position when you would have thought the Saints would have a little bit better to start this drive.
Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram have touched the ball 11 of the 12 touches for New Orleans in this game, and there's another one. Kamara gets a block, gets through, first down. Just keep feeding the two-back horse, and it's working. We've got a game break. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
All right, New England trying to wrap up the #1 seed in the AFC. They're up 10-3 right now. Detroit, they're up 7-0 in Cincinnati, needing to win out and get help in order to make the playoffs. We'll keep you updated on all the playoff picture right after this. That meaning your game. And you guys, come back to us later. You got it?
We got it, Kurt. Merry Christmas to you. And how about the catch by Eric Ebron? They were trying to trade him at midseason. His play is picked up.
Basically, all those teams, Charles, Lions, Seahawks, Dallas, all Saints fans today, because the Falcons have the edge on all of them. Near side, it's Josh Hill, the tight end. Hill makes a catch, and he's taken down at the 40 after a gain of 4. Just stunning to see someone touch it other than Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara at this point.
That's a good point. But you know what else is happening with this Saints offensive, not just the offensive line. We talked about them before. They love to run block. But they've added number 42, Zach Line, as a fullback. Remember, John Kuhn tore a bicep earlier this year when they were in England. And Zach Line's been a terrific lead blocker at fullback. help kickstart the run game.
The fake to Kamara coming back this way. It's Ginn. Ted Ginn. Good cut for Ginn and the speed. And Ted Ginn into Atlanta territory. They've run him before. He picks up 15 that time.
And they took advantage of the rookie, I believe, Tack McKinley, because watch him coming off the edge. He comes too shallow on this play. And they're able to flip it behind him. See, now he's got to redirect and try and get back to Ted Ginn, and it's too late. And the wall is set up. And look at him get downfield. And how about the guys out in front? Look at Ted Ginn's eyes trying to find that open space to make the cut and take off.
Saints bring on an extra lineman right now on a 1st and 10. Ingram, Mark Ingram. Not much. Grady Jarrett put the muscle on him after a gain of 2. Charles, this Falcons defense has been kind of underrated all year because they are a bend, but they don't break. They don't give up the big plays.
When we talked with Drew Brees, he said they're the type of defense they want to keep everything in front, rally up and make the tackle, and make you go the long way and try and make plays. There's Marquand Manuel, their first-year defensive coordinator. That's all he talked about to us in pregame. Tackle, tackle, tackle. Get them on the ground. Don't give up explosive plays.
One thing they haven't done is get turnovers. Here's Brees on 2nd down. Over the middle, and he's got Kamara again for a 1st down. This guy is everywhere.
There's Kamara. And watch who ends up covering him downfield. He gets a little bit of a pick there from Josh Hill, number 89. And number 22, Keanu Neal, on him again. I expect these shorter routes that Alvin Kamara is running now against Keanu Neal to eventually turn into an out and up, a slant and go, something to take him deeper into the secondary at some point in this game.
41 yards receiving, 17 rushing so far. He's in the backfield. He'll get it again. Why not? Up the middle. Inside the 30 is Kamara. Another 4-yard gain.
I know this is a city built on music, and Alvin Kamara, he really is the jazz riffs for this team, isn't he? He's that guy who goes on those scats and those runs, right? But he also has a little bit of that Mark Ingram percussion thump, doesn't he? Because you notice that just run there by by Kamara, ran it inside and dragged the tackler with him for extra yardage. A lot stronger than he looks at 215 pounds.
He and Mark Ingram are actually the same size.
Amazing.
You don't think of it
types.
because how he moves. You're right. Here's Brees to throw. After the fake, just into the ground. Falcons played that screen exceptionally well.
Brian Poole, number 34, and Deion Jones, number 45. Not only did they read it, they pretty much recited it back to Drew Brees, and Drew Brees was smart enough to see it and throw it right in the ground so he didn't end up with an interception. And that was great screen recognition by the Atlanta Falcons defense.
And so this is an area where really the entire Sean Payton, Drew Brees era, they've been great on 3rd down. They haven't been great this year. They're 19th in the league on 3rd down for some reason.
And here's Kamara at the bottom of the screen. Got Ricardo Allen, another safety on him here.
3rd and 6 here. Brees going the opposite way, has a completion, and it's Ginn for a 1st down. Down to the 20.
Wasn't it interesting talking with Drew Brees about Ted Ginn, where a lot of people think Ted Ginn's a one-trick pony, right? Here comes Ginn. We know he can run fast and he runs go routes. But how about him there, understanding where the 1st down marker was, got enough depth so that he could set up and show his numbers back to Drew Brees, and Brees put the ball on him. As Drew Brees said, he's smarter than he gets credit for. He's a coach's kid.
He is.
His dad, Ted Ginn Sr., highly successful coach in the state of Ohio.
They're happy to have him back. He missed last week with a rib injury. There you see the numbers on Brees. 9th play of the drive. They mark it at the 21, and we get a whistle. New Orleans has called their first timeout. We'll call one as well. Saints up 3-0 and on the move here in the 2nd quarter.
Jingle bells swing up with the quick fuse. I was uptight, wanna let loose. I was dreaming of bigger things and wanna leave my old life behind. Not a yes, sir.
Well, if you're the Saints, you're believing in that guy. Alvin Kamara. Look at this. Kamara and Ingram, they're 2 running back starters. 91 of their 113 yards today. And here's Kamara again. Stutter step up the middle for a short game for Robert Alford. Brought him down. I mean, it's amazing when you think back. First, again, 2 weeks ago, Kamara hurt on the first series. He had 4 touches in the first series, and now it's Give it to him every time.
A lot of offense they had planned for that night. They didn't get to run. They had to actually adjust their game plan when Kamara went out and they couldn't get the ball to him. All that offense they didn't run, they got it in the game plan here. Now, guarantee you Sean Payton has a few extra wrinkles and counters to go along with those plays as well.
Yeah, Drew Brees even said it really took us almost a whole half to figure out what we could and couldn't do without him. Well, they've got him today, and he's been great. Here's Brees over the middle, incomplete, and no flags. Josh Hill, the intended receiver. It was Keanu Neal on D.
At first blush, I like the fact that there's no flag. Let's take a look at Hill getting upfield. Number 89, he widens out, then he cuts inside, and there's Neal making a play on the football. Fans are going to react, but I think it's a good no call. I think Hill's going to the ground mainly on his own.
Yeah, I do too. And so a 3rd down and 8. Be the 11th play of the drive.
You notice how they try and test what they call eye discipline of the defense. Show you something in one spot and try and throw it back against the grain as they did there with Josh Hill.
And the play clock was running down. Drew Brees saw it. He calls a timeout. As he does, we'll be right back after these messages from Duracell and Lowe's.
Do you need the most trusted battery this holiday? Maybe not. Maybe you could trust the world would be just as happy without them. Or you could just trust Duracell.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Don't come in, I'm wrapping your present.
The moment you realize you aren't the most original gift giver.
At Lowe's, we can help you pick out the perfect gift that your family is sure to love.
Get a DeWalt 20-volt max cordless drill for only $99 at Lowe's.
Well, I think the Falcons know it's going to Alvin Kamara. They just can't stop him so far, Charles.
It's been difficult. The offensive line's done a nice job springing him, and they've created excellent matchups for him out in the open field. But a name we haven't called enough of so far, Michael Thomas, wide receiver. It's a great spot in the field for him.
Just one catch so far for Thomas. 3rd down and 8. Here's Brees. Has time. Floats it. Gibbs got it. Makes a catch. He's going to be shy of a 1st down. A yard short of a 1st. And I wonder if Sean Payton thinks about going for it. They've been superb on 4th down.
Oh, he's definitely thinking about it. He's looking down at his play sheet right now. One of the bigger play sheets you will see from a head football coach and a play caller. And I think he's going to get about being aggressive right here.
Look at the 4th down. 11 of 13. That's an incredible rate. Best in the league, and they will go.
And he brought in Senio Kelemete, number 65, as an extra offensive lineman. They're down 2 tight ends to injury, so use the offensive linemen for their extra packages, now their jumbo packages.
Ingram is the back.
Ready. Let's fight line. Ready. Let's fight.
4th and 2, they call it. Confusion. Ingram gets it. Jones hits him. Surging forward. Now the spot is key. Where do they put it? It is close.
He may very well pick this up. And if he did it because he did it on his own effort. Bobbled snap. Timing was totally thrown off. Fortunate that they didn't fumble the football. Watch the snap. Okay, so there's the bobble between Unger and Brees. Now he runs into Ingram. Now he's trying to run through 2 tackles. Deion Jones, 45, and Desmond Trufant, 21. If he got this one, that was sheer force of will.
That was really some effort. And now the spot.
See where receiver Andrus Peat, 75, ran into Brees as well as he was pulling on the play.
Here we go. Measurements. Don't need the index card to tell you that's a 1st down.
Yeah, I hear the index card will not be seen again based on what I heard from Alberto Riveron. But watch the force of will. Look at him. Drops the shoulder, and he's running through a linebacker and a cornerback. And notice how he finishes the run moving forward.
Why was Atlanta trying to strip the ball there? They didn't have to.
It's a great question. Right there, you want to make the tackle and finish the down.
By the way, that's the 10th consecutive 4th down conversion for the Saints. Incredible. Ingram again. That time it gets stacked up. Deion Jones with a big boy hit.
And a little bit of frustration in that hit as well.
Yeah.
Deion Jones at the end, a Louisiana native, played at LSU, has never played in the Dome prior to last season, his rookie year here. So watch Jones here. We were talking about Manti Te'o for the Saints earlier. You see how the defensive line kept him clean, meaning no one gets to Deion Jones to block him. No offensive lineman, no fullback. He reads, reacts, and puts the thump on Mark Ingram.
Breeze looks to set it up to Ingram. Gets a block. Ingram up the middle inside the 10. Good burst from Ingram there. Looked like there was nothing. And that will take it down to the 2-minute warning and a critical third down when we come back. 3-0 Saints trying to punch it in and add on.
Kevin Burkhardt, you made a great observation earlier about right here on this fourth down play. Watch Desmond Trufant. He's trying to strip the football out instead of finishing the tackle. If they stop him on fourth down there, they get the football. Didn't get the strip. And I think Atlanta feels a lot of pressure for takeaways in this game, and that time it cost them.
That was great. Third down and 7. They can get a first down at the 1. They don't need a touchdown. Play clock running down. Reed, fumble on the play. It is loose, and it's recovered by Ingram, but that was third down, and they'll have to settle for a field goal try.
And this is a big win for the Atlanta defense. Let's see, right there, the ball ended up on the hip of Mark Ingram. Not in the breadbasket. Ingram scrambles and gets the ball, so they still have a chance for a field goal attempt. But all in all, this is a big win for the Atlanta defense. What was that, 16-play drive?
After all that,
and
after the fourth down conversion, they have to settle for a field goal. This will be a 29-yard attempt by Lutz.
That's a long drive to come down and kick a field goal.
And the kick is up, and it is good. So in a game where it certainly feels like New Orleans is absolutely dominating, they're up, but it's only 6-0. So the Saints go on a 16-play, 68-yard drive. They convert a fourth down, but they fumble on a third down recover. Charles, New Orleans is really dominated. So they're leading, but sure could be a lot worse if you're Atlanta.
And they came very close to not getting any points. They had a fumbled snap with Drew Brees, and Mark Ingram picked up a first down on a fourth down carry in spite of it, and then dropped it again on the third down carry. So they were fortunate to get the field goal attempt and be up 6-0.
So the Falcons will get it. They've got 2 timeouts left. Robert's going to return this one. The last one didn't work out so well. This one a lot more room, and he's out to the 25-yard line. That's where Atlanta will start. 2 timeouts, 1:14 to go in the first half. 2 great bowl games coming your way this week. Starting Wednesday on Fox, Arizona takes on Purdue, and then Washington State and Michigan State square off in the Holiday Bowl. That one is Thursday on FS1.
How about that? 2 Pac-12 Big Ten matchups for bragging rights in the postseason.
That is a great shot. I love that. So here's Matt Ryan, chance to get Atlanta on the board. 6 for 7, 73 yards so far. Four-man rush. He's got time. He's going to loft it for Julio Jones, who makes a tremendous adjustment and the catch up around midfield.
You know, they watch Julio Jones in the slot. Lattimore stays patient with him, but a beautifully thrown football by Matt Ryan. Throwing it for the back shoulder and allowing his receiver to see the ball first, make the adjustment, and the catch.
4 catches, 63 yards for Jones so far. Plenty of time left, 1:08 in the half.
Let's see if they keep him on the move, keep him in some bunch areas, and try and get him away from Lattimore a little easier.
Right now he's not. He's matched up with him, top of your screen. Ryan looks the other way. Has all day. On the run, going to throw it away. He had a lot of time. He just couldn't find anybody. Game break. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. We head to Carolina, a game you guys care about right there with that audience. After a Bucs field goal, Damiere Byrd returns the ensuing kickoff. How about this? 103 yards. Carolina clinches the playoff spot with a win today. Panthers lead this one 12-6. Kevin, Charles, and Cam.
You just never see guys taken out of the end zone all the way anymore.
No,
so rare.
A lot of times we tell them to keep it in there because the returns haven't been that great. Not in that case.
Saints show blitz. They back off. Still pressure. Ryan in trouble. Hit as he throws it incomplete. He was looking for Julio Jones, but Cameron Jordan gave him some trouble there. And a 3rd and 10. And Julio Jones out on this play. Third and 10. Blitz coming. Ryan unloads. Dropped. And it's still live. That may be picked off. They say incomplete. It looked like it's sacked there. No, interception. Amazingly, it never hit the ground.
Marvin Hall runs the deep in route, and the ball pops out of his hands, so it's up for grabs. This is what they call a tip drill for defensive backs. It stays on the backside of Marshawn Lattimore. They reach for it twice, doesn't touch the ground. You see, it's right there on Lattimore. It's still up. It's reached for it right there by Marcus Williams. It stays on Lattimore, and look who pulls it in. Marshawn Lattimore for the interception.
His first gluteus interception of his NFL career.
I mean, I think that the officials nailed this one right on the spot. No hesitation, called it an interception, and that will hold up, I believe.
We review the previous play.
That was incredible. From our vantage point, it looked like it never hit the ground, and from here, I think it's pretty clear it never hit. That is obviously an interception, and they're going to look at it because they do every turnover.
If you're the Atlanta Falcons, you know what this evokes right now. Julian Edelman in the Super Bowl. That play bounced around, didn't look like anyone was going to come up with it. Edelman with the hustle comes up with it. One of the key plays in the Super Bowl that cost them. And here's Marshawn Lattimore in a key play for a playoff spot. Ball stays on him, and somehow he comes up with the interception when it's on his back. But think about what a stat that we showed earlier. 26 drop passes coming into the game for the Atlanta Falcons. That's a drop pass by Marvin Hall, and he put it into jeopardy right there, and it turns into an interception for New Orleans.
That's their second drop today. And I think it's pretty obvious. They're looking at this. I don't know what's taken so long, because it's an interception by Lattimore, whose outstanding rookie year continues, by the way. That is and will be his 5th interception of the year that leads the Saints. And maybe more importantly, they've got 50 seconds left before the half and a timeout, so they've got time to add on to their lead here.
That ball has to be caught by Marvin Hall. Ball's placed in the right spot, goes off of his hands, and it turns into a play for New Orleans. And to your point, with 50 seconds on the clock and Drew Brees, plenty of time for them to run offense, even though they just have one timeout left.
By the way, Marcus Williams should get a little assist there. He got to help keep the ball on top.
He was coming up trying to grab it himself and couldn't possess it.
Yeah, it sure was. Well, Lattimore, this whole secondary for New Orleans was remade. And it's really, they've been a strength of the team.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands, a catch and interception.
You saw on the bench there, that was Aaron Glenn, the defensive backs coach, talking to his guys. Tip drill is something you work on all the time. And that's something about them going to get it. And guess what? They went and did that. But as we noted, the officials nailed this one right from the beginning.
That's live speed. That's what we saw. That's what the officials saw. They were on it. New Orleans has a chance to add on. 50 seconds ago. Kamara, nowhere to run. He's taken down by Beasley. Saints have one timeout left. And it looks like they're just taking their time here.
Coming back to the line of scrimmage.
Visa halftime show coming up. Kurt, Terry, Michael, Jimmy, and Tony from the studio today. We'll get you updated on all the playoff races. Here's Breeze. Flag flies. Kamara's got it. Out around the first down, but let's see what the penalty is. It'll be a gain of 10 if the play stands, but we'll see with 22 seconds to go.
You see the smarts of Kamara getting to the sideline?
Offside. Defense, number 44. The penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Even though Keanu Neal was coming up to make the tackle, understanding, put him down inbounds, still was able to evade that and get to the sideline and save a little time.
22 seconds to go. Will Lutz, the Saints kicker, was trying field goals from 59 yards away in warm-ups, by the way. So if that's the case, they don't have to go too much farther. The Breeze going for it. For game! He's got it! Touchdown! Wow! Forget the field goal. Yards to Ted Ginn.
The one thing you can't let happen as a defense in that situation is to get beat deep. And Atlanta gave it up right before the half to Ted Ginn Jr. So watch Ginn right here. He's just going to get upfield and watch him working on Desmond Trufant, number 21. And Breeze had a clean pocket, able to step up and throw him open. We use that term all the time, right? He doesn't put it right on Ted Ginn. He puts it in a spot where Ginn's running away from Trufant. He comes under it and takes it to the end zone. If he threw it right to Ted Ginn, he brings the defensive back into the play. By throwing it out ahead of him and away from the defender, he let Ted Ginn's speed win the day.
You said earlier, Drew Brees told us, Ted Ginn is so much more than a one-trick pony. But that particular one trick he's always been pretty good at.
When in doubt, you play to your strengths.
Yes. Speed.
And that trick worked pretty well for Ted Ginn. But Marvin Hall, the ball popping out of his hands, which should be a catch, turns into an interception, gave them one last opportunity, and they converted it into a touchdown.
What a turn of events. Talk about momentum swings. Saints had the lead, but it was a struggle. Now they've got a big lead, 13-0. And now we take a moment to send it to Kurt Menefee.
Coming up on a jolly edition of the Visa Halftime, the Patriots look for a gift today against the Bills. The Chargers hope for a Christmas miracle as they take on the Jets. And Santa, can you help the Chiefs wrap up the AFC West? At least one of us will have our dignity intact when we come back for the Visa Halftime.
I got to give Kurt a lot of credit. He's bold with the headgear.
He pulls it off.
He pulls it off well.
That'll do it for the first half here from New Orleans. This Superdome is electric because their Saints have a 13-0 lead. Let's take a look at some fun for Week 15. Sounds from the field. So the Saints with a little bolt of lightning before the half with the bomb to Ted Ginn. The interception from Lattimore set it up. A commanding 13-0 lead. And remember, Charles, they won the toss and deferred, so now they get it to start this heaven. Add it, they have Alvin Kamara, who's not normally back there on kickoffs, back on kickoffs. So this will be a huge start to this half for Atlanta.
That tells me that Sean Payton's going for the dagger shot here. He wants his best out there right now, wants to start the second half off with a bang.
Is he going to take it out regardless? Yes, he is. Kamara up the middle. Kamara makes a move. Look at this. Alvin Kamara gets by Bosher. Well, that worked. 49 yards on the return. Guy has been incredible today and really all year long.
And look at how everything gets set up for him and how he reads it. Good blocks right there. Nice job by John Phillips, who they just signed, number 86, to get him out into open field. And now he waits for blocking to develop, slips past Bosher, the kicker, before he's hauled down in the back. There's Keanu Neal, a sure tackler, unable to get Kamara on the ground.
This may be stating the obvious, but this feels like an absolute must-stop for Atlanta. I know it's just the first possession of the second half.
You're exactly right. We started out this game talking about the running backs. Now it's all on the Atlanta defense, this possession, to start the second half.
Well, here's Ingram, the other running back, who powers forward for a big run, but a penalty from behind the line of scrimmage. So we will see what this is all about.
Number 65 offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
All right, so we move New Orleans back a little bit. Hi, welcome to the booth. Charles Davis, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. What's Atlanta do here? They're getting outclassed.
They are, but I go back to something our colleague Peter Schrager talked about in the NFL Kickoff Show. He talked about what Dan Quinn showed his team about these fights. Derek Smoke Gaynor versus Kevin the Flushing Flash Kelly. And Derek Smoke Gaynor got beat in the first fight and said, well, you know, you got to come to my turf to fight. Kevin Kelly said, fine, I'll come to your turf and fight. Well, Atlanta's on New Orleans turf. Will they fight here in this second battle with the New Orleans Saints? And they have to do it right here on this possession.
That penalty, by the way, was the first one on the Saints all game long. Here's Breeze, back to throw over the middle. Tipped and it's intercepted by Atlanta. Exactly what they needed. It's Jones, Deion Jones, inside the 5. His second interception career in his hometown.
Well, guess what? The Flushing Flash decided to fight. Remember in the first game, how did it end? Deion Jones with an interception in the end zone. Here, off the hands of Ted Ginn. And Deion Jones on the tip takes it away and sets his Atlanta Falcons up with their first possession of the second half inside the New Orleans 10. A tip drill benefited New Orleans in the first half with Marshawn Lattimore. Now it benefits Atlanta to start the second half, something, as you said, they sorely needed.
He had an interception return for a touchdown last year in his hometown, and now this. Plays in opposing territory. This is the first one for Atlanta today. And a whistle, and New Orleans is calling for a timeout. So while we have a moment, seems like a good time.
First team.
Pete Morelli was trying to interrupt me, Pete. Okay, so I was trying to go down to Pam Oliver, who's ready. Hi, Pam. What do you got?
Hey there. Dan Quinn, boy, what a momentum shift for them. I asked him, what do you clean up in this half? He said, number one, penalties. Defensively, get off the field on third down. As far as Alvin Kamara, his thing was, we're going to make some adjustments, perhaps use a little more zone. Levine Tololo is out for this game. That leaves them with one tight end.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. He's a good blocker for them. Thanks, Pam. Atlanta gets to the line quickly. First and goal. Freeman, the tailback. They'll run it. Freeman in trouble. Makes a cut, and he is stymied shy of the goal line. There was an opening for a moment, but Teo was there, and so was Onyemata.
That was good running there by Freeman. Good vision. Able to extend it out towards the sideline when things were stacked up inside to find some open space and get up near the goal line.
Mohamed Sanu, number 12, is really their go-to red zone option. He's got 5 touchdowns. He's on the top of your screen right now. Julio Jones on the bottom. That's Sanu in motion. But they'll run it. Freeman. Fumble the ball. It's loose. New Orleans has recovered. Man-time Teo comes up with it, and just like that, the momentum swings back.
Devontae Freeman at Tampa, despite an excellent football game, put it on the ground twice on Monday night. In their last game against New Orleans, late in the game, trying to run it out, he put it on the ground and was bailed out by a teammate recovering it. Here he runs into the back of their Pro Bowl center, Alex Mack, which actually forced the fumble. And give Manti Te'o big credit for taking on Alex Mack in the hole to stuff him. And when Freeman ran into him, popped the ball free, Teo makes the recovery.
Teron Armstead, the left tackle, has gone to the locker room.
You ready?
And so we will try and get a report on him.
And Andrus Peat has gone to left tackle. He shifted from left guard to left tackle. Senio Kelemete, number 65, has come in at left guard. And you see Devontae Freeman, another fumble. He works so hard. He plays so hard. He tries fiercely in each and every game, and sometimes it runs him into a little bit of trouble. And on that last play, it did, as he ran into the back of Alex Mack and coughed up the ball.
Ready? Line! You ready?
Fake to Ingram, brings from his own end zone, pumps, looks, get it out to Hill, the tight end, and Neal going to knock him down out across the 10 to the 11, so a third down.
Atlanta came into the game preaching how they had to get more and more turnovers, and in fact, they won the first contest between these two teams, -2 in turnover ratio. Had 3 interceptions with Matt Ryan, and then Drew Brees threw the clincher to Deion Jones. And New Orleans is still trying to figure out how they lost that game, winning the turnover battle. Atlanta comes in wanting to win it and coughs it up near the goal line.
You see Brees with that pass, 12 straight years, over 4,000 yards. Incredible. Third down and 3 here. Brees batted it up in the air. Incomplete. Boy, that was up there for an eternity, and Beasley tried to find it. Instead, it'll be a punt. And they're figuring out what they really want to do with Vic Beasley, aren't they? Because for a lot of the season, he's playing outside linebacker and wasn't as effective. This is where he's effective, rushing the passer. And in a play like this, what you have to do, Ryan Ramczyk has to get his hands down. He's got to actually go lower on his block on Vic Beasley
to keep his hands out of the passing lane. Didn't get it done, and Beasley batted it away.
So after Freeman's fumble, the Atlanta D forces a 3 and out, and now Morstead will punt. Roberts to return. Low kick, it's returnable. Roberts from midfield, looking for a move. He's got nowhere to go. Well covered by the Saints. And Atlanta will still have good field position. So already 2 turnovers in this half. Jones with the interception, set up a 1st and goal. Freeman gave it back. Saints up 13-0. It's already been a roller coaster of emotion in this second half because we've had 2 turnovers. The Atlanta D holds, though, after a 3 and out, and they've got the ball in New Orleans territory. With a 1st and 10, they'll flip it to Tevin Coleman. Tries to get to the edge, and there's not much there. And Charles, we started this broadcast talking about the running backs. And for New Orleans, it's been a big factor, but for Atlanta, not so much. But this is a big play. That 3rd down for the half. Julio Jones, they made a personnel mistake. He wasn't in the game. So instead of Jones, they threw it to that man, Marvin Hall, who dropped it. It was picked off, and then what do we get a couple plays later? That.
Yeah, and so essentially you're swapping Marvin Hall, 2 catches for the season coming into this game, for Julio Jones, 76 catches for the season. Not a good swap for Atlanta. Turned into a 7-point play for New Orleans.
They'll throw it here on 2nd and 10. Over the middle, it's the tight end Hooper, who works his way to within a yard of a 1st down there. But I started talking about the running backs. For New Orleans, it's been a huge factor. They've been a 0 factor for Atlanta.
0 factor, which is unusual because as we look at the comparison, 18 yards on the game. But here's the best part for Atlanta, and it's hard to see, but the silver lining is this. All of these stats are negative against them. They're only down 13 with the ball in plus territory for New Orleans right now.
Look at this. They go Wildcat with Mohamed Sanu as the quarterback. He's a good passer, too. 6 of 6 in his career. But they'll run it to Freeman, who breaks through. Freeman with a big run, making amends for the fumble, and he's down to the 24 for an Atlanta 1st down.
So to cap it all off, down 13, still have the ball in New Orleans territory. They stick it in the end zone here. It's a brand new game for Atlanta, despite all the negative stats. And look at that. Devontae, look at how he covers with 2 hands as he feels pressure after the fumble near the goal line on his last carry.
That's the Falcons' first 3rd down conversion today. Remember, they're the best 3rd down team in the league. From the 24. It's Ryan looking to go to Sanu, and a big battle and an incomplete pass there. Crawley was right on Sanu.
And how about the officials letting them work it out themselves, too? Watch Sanu, number 12 in white, against Crawley, number 20 in black. And they're hand fighting with each other. And that ball ends up hitting Crawley in the back of his head. And I know Atlanta fans are screaming for interference here. What the officials have told us consistently, if they see hands on both sides working against each other, they let you work it out on your own.
Yeah, I think Sanu said he wanted that throw higher to go jump and get it. He doesn't have a catch today. Second and 10. They will run it to Freeman. Freeman gets a block, makes a move, diving inside the 20. Down inside the 19 for Freeman, who picks up 5. This is what the running backs have done today. And just as a reminder, Atlanta ran for over 200 yards last week, or I should say on Monday night. 3rd and 5. Ryan, 3-step drop, firing, knocked away. It is Lattimore again, who was all over the receiver Jones like glue.
This is a rookie, folks. First year in the league, number 23, Marshawn Lattimore, working against one of the more physical players, and I'm not sure he wasn't there early, frankly. I'm not sure he wasn't draped on Julio Jones. In fact, I'm going to say it. He was there early before the ball got there and draped on him, but he got away with that one. He's had a heck of a rookie year, but I think he was fortunate on that play. No flag was thrown.
So now it's Matt Bryant for a 37-yard field goal try. And it's up and good, and Atlanta on the board. So after all that, Falcons are on the board, 13-3. Saints lead it in the 3rd. Well, Lattimore has had an outstanding year, but he got away with one.
To me, there's no doubt about it. He does a nice job understanding where the 1st down line is and just guarding that. But he's all over him. Now watch him get there before the ball's there. To me, that's an interference call that he got away with. Close, but still won. Now, if Julio Jones played for the Atlanta Hawks on that play, he gets the call. All right, superstar in the NBA is going to always get that call. But Marshawn Lattimore having a terrific rookie season.
Here's Kamara with a 49-yard return earlier, back to receive again. And this time Kamara upended just across the 20-yard line. Big smiles on Alvin Kamara. The singing competition that starts with the 4 best singers. The 4 battle for stardom. The panel includes Sean Diddy Combs, DJ Khaled, Meghan Trainor, Charlie Walk, and hosted by Fergie. Vocal Combat begins Thursday, January 4th. Right here on Fox.
I see what you just did there. We started our broadcast talking about 4 running backs.
Tried to
the 4.
Tie it in.
And you brought it all back around.
I had nothing to do with it. It just timing-wise worked out that way.
Well done.
So here we go, Saints up by 10. 9:29 to go in the third quarter. From the 20. Well, Atlanta jumped, but were they baited? You heard Drew Brees with a hard snap count there.
Neutral zone infraction, number 91 defense, 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
7th penalty today on Atlanta. First one on their defense, though.
Big Courtney Upshaw, who had a sack earlier in the game, his first one of the season. This time gets caught in the neutral zone. Still haven't thrown the ball much to Michael Thomas. Played, what, one time this game? Number 13.
Catch, 5 yards. Don't know if that hamstring is a factor.
Could be.
Kamara's going to get it again. And he is just going to get tied up. Nowhere to go. Atlanta played it well with Neal and Alford there from the secondary. We got a chance to sit with Alvin Kamara the other day. He's enlightening. He brightens up room. He is a smart kid.
He's a smart one. Sean Payton talked about his football IQ. I believe you or Pam asked him what was the toughest thing to pick up. And he said 2-minute offense. He said it was tough. He said Drew Brees got me through it. He's pretty intense. But he also said he learned it with flashcards from Daniel Laska, who was also on the team, to pick it up. He said, but you don't want to mess up anything with Drew. What was the quote? You don't want to mess up Drew Brees' perfection.
Smart man. Kamara's in the slot. Easy to see. He's got those red shoes on today. They're going to throw it to him, and he has the catch, but Neal's going to fling him out of bounds, shy of a first down. And Kamara was interesting, right? We're like, well, what happens if you do make a mistake? Or when you were learning, what happens? He said, sometimes Drew would just give you the look. And it just a quick look, and you know.
And he said he could not recreate the look. And we asked Drew to actually do the look, and Drew said, got to do it in the moment, man. I can't just do that look. But what a nice tackle there by Keanu Neal. And understanding what he needed to get done there and not letting Alvin Kamara shake him and pick up a first down.
We go out on a limb and say Kamara hasn't gotten a look too often this year. Brees looking his way. Pressure, has to run away. On the run, pointing, throwing high. He was looking for Willie Snead over there. But the Falcons defense, they've done a pretty good job here holding their own.
And what a play there to me by Vic Beasley, because this is what Drew Brees wants. One-on-one with Deion Jones is Alvin Kamara, and Brees looked in that direction. But Vic Beasley flashed so fast coming from the defensive end position that he had to come off of that. Here comes Beasley from the right side of your screen. And so now Drew Brees had to come off of that play, and Beasley forces the incompletion.
And so Morstead will punt. This one is a rocket. Roberts all the way back to the 15, backing up, makes a man miss. Good move. Across the 20, and he's swarmed there by Saints. And so Atlanta will take over. 7:44 to go, down by 10. Here in New Orleans, where the Saints have, for the most part, controlled it with their superstar rookie, Alvin Kamara. That's what's at stake today. The winner of this game goes to the playoffs. Carolina is losing now to Tampa. That's a big deal because Carolina could clinch a playoff spot with a win too. We'll keep you updated. Here's Matt Ryan. Play pass. Gonna air it out. Going deep for Jones. Knocked down, or did he fall down? There's a penalty flag. Lattimore on the coverage again, and the penalty flag came down.
Remember, we talked about they want to get him on the move to get him away from press coverage. They do on that play in motion, and he runs downfield. Lattimore's got him in a good spot, but I think he panicked a little. I think Lattimore felt like Julio Jones was about to run by him, grabbed him there, and punches into him.
There is no foul for defensive pass interference. Second down.
And if they're saying that's an uncatchable ball, here's my question. How can you tell when he gets knocked down 10 yards away from where the ball is going to come down? he would have a chance to make a play on the football if he's not knocked down and held. So to me, I'm not sure how you can make that call, because look at this. He's going by him, and he's held up right there. So I don't know how you can pick up the flag in this spot and say that that's not a penalty.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. 2nd and 10, that's all it is. An incomplete pass. Here's Coleman. Breaking through. Tevin Coleman, speed out across the 35. So Kevin Coleman hasn't had much of a factor in this game, but that's a good-looking run of 15.
Watch over here to the left side. Zone blocking, which means you just step to your left. There's Derek Coleman with a block there in the hole, but look at Ben Garland, 63. Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the Atlanta Falcons, just pushes his guy downfield and creates big space for Tevin Coleman.
That's just Coleman's 5th carry of the game. They'll run it to him again, and that time no such success. Craig Robertson with the initial stick. Game break time. Let's go back to Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. I got some good news for Saints fans here. Bucks down 12-9 in the 3rd when Jameis Winston finds Bobo Wilson for this 18-yard touchdown. So if the Bucks win, Saints clinch the NFC South. Bucks up right now 16-12. Kevin, Charles,
Yeah, Chris, you got it. If that stays the same and if this stays the same, Saints would win the division. Long way to go in both games.
We talked a lot about Julio Jones. Where are the other receivers for Atlanta winning in situations? He needs a little bit of help.
Here is Ryan. 2nd and 10. Goes far side. Sanu makes a good catch that time and tackled immediately at the 40. Lattimore again, who's been everywhere.
He's got the perfect cornerback mentality. He wants to guard the best receivers that are out there. And he doesn't mind getting, when I say doesn't mind, if he gets beat, he just processes it and comes back for the next play. And by the way, not afraid to tackle either.
You know,
How about those hands by Sanu, though, holding on to the football?
Forget about good rookie year. He's had as good a year as any cornerback in the league. 3rd down and 3. Ryan, pressure in trouble. Down he goes. Cameron Jordan, number 2 on the game.
Cam Jordan, who can rush effectively from either side, does an excellent job with his hands on Ryan Schrader, 73. Shows him hands one way, and then comes underneath. End up getting Matt Ryan on the ground for the 2nd time today.
Both defenses making some plays. Jordan, 2 sacks today. He's got 12 on the year. Tommy Lee Lewis on the run. And not a lot of them. And then a late hit and a silly penalty on Atlanta. Derek Coleman's got to avoid that. He was 5 yards out of bounds, and that'll give him 15.
And my eyes tell me that Derek Coleman actually was trying to hold him up. Watch at the end. And now I think he wants to see, he's trying to pull off. Too late. He had already spun into the white, and that flag comes out almost automatically.
Out of bounds, personal foul, necessary roughness. Number 40, the kicking team, 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down, timeout.
Coleman's been an excellent special teamer for them all year. Makes a critical mistake on that one.
Saints in control. Cameron Jordan has eaten. 2nd sack today. He's been a beast. New Orleans up by 10. Cameron Jordan was just named to the Pro Bowl. He's been as good as any defensive end in the league. In fact, today is 96 consecutive start. That's the most among DEs in the league. 2 sacks today. He's got 12 on the year. He sacked Matt Ryan 10 times in his career. He is terrific.
Walter Payton nominee for Man of the Year from the New Orleans Saints as well.
Meanwhile, after a short punt, an 8-yard return, and a 15-yard penalty, here are the Saints. But Kamara had a little seam there, but then Jones came on and ended that one after a few yards. It's amazing how much the penalties have had an effect in both of these games, right? Atlanta got all the calls 2 weeks ago on a Thursday night, and now it's the complete opposite today. There's been no balance.
Not the same officiating crew either. If everyone's sitting there wondering if there was an effect, you know, a lot of complaints about the calls, get the same. No, it's a different officiating crew.
Alvin Kamara lined up top of your screen as a receiver. Breeze looks that way, going somewhere else. He's got a man wide open. It is Thomas. who sprints away from the Falcons defenders down to the 27. 24-yard hookup to Thomas, just his second catch today.
And they look confused in the Atlanta secondary. Were they playing zone or man? Watch here with Desmond Trufant. So he jumps up on something that's not there. He sees a ghost on the pass route. Is he thinking it's an out? He sits in the short zone. Thomas bypasses him, and Drew Brees puts it on him before Devondre Campbell can come up and make a play.
Mark Ingram back in the game. 8 carries, 17 yards for him rushing. That's a quiet day for him. Running the ball. Get it here. And not much again that time. So we finally get a report on Teron Armstead, who's got a thigh injury, questionable to return. He's been out a few series now, as we told you, with Pete moving over and then Clemente moving in at guard.
It's been like that all year for the Saints. They are actually an anomaly because normally when you don't have continuity in the offensive line, you struggle. They've had guys in and out all year, guys changing positions all year. Pete's played guard and tackle. Clemente's played guard and tackle. Ryan Ramchik's played left tackle, right tackle. They're used to moving around.
Yeah, they are. It's good points. 2nd and 9. Here's Ingram. Big hole. Mark Ingram sprinting away. Touchdown, New Orleans.
We talked about the vision of Alvin Kamara earlier. How about Mark Ingram? Watch him bend it back and see what he sees there. Look at that. Clear space, and look at the block by Pete, 75. The block by Willie Snead, 83. The play was designed right. He found the hole back left and found the end zone.
And it's 20-3 Saints. 26-yard run. Sean Payton is fired up, the 12th touchdown run of the year for Mark Ingram. We'll be right back after this message from Farmers Insurance.
We are farmers.
Welcome to the Four.
Who will challenge the 4?
Are you ready to take one of these seats?
The battle is on.
She looks a little scared, sweetheart. I'm not scared of nobody.
Challenge!
The 4, Battle for Stardom, premieres January 4th on Fox.
We started the show, Charles, talking about the 4 running backs in this game and how they would play the outcome. Well, Ingram had been quiet running today. Not anymore.
He heard you. You mentioned it being quiet, woke him up. And look at him with the Skittles. Remember Marshawn Lynch made that famous about liking Skittles? What is it that Alvin Kamara likes? Airheads? That taffy?
Yes.
He likes to have some airheads after he scores. So everyone has their candy of choice in New Orleans, but that non-call on the deep pass to Julio Jones, that weighed big on that possession to me.
Yeah, it did. And now the Saints took advantage and they're up 20-3. Well, let's see. The Skittles for Ingram. No airheads, but we have to wait for Kamara to score.
Kamara has to score. When he scores, and both of them double-digit touchdowns on the year.
I go back to the conversation earlier in the day with Dan Campbell, the assistant head coach for New Orleans. He said, biggest difference for us is after the London game that we did, we found our identity, which is what?
Being able to be a physical, downhill-type running football team and take the pressure off of Drew Brees. He's averaging less than 40 pass attempts a game this season. The last time he did that, 2009, and they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. They have been balanced and showing here today, and now the Falcons in a heap of trouble with 2:52 to go in the third. They'll fake to Freeman. Ryan looking, throwing. They get it middle of the field to Sanu, who came back to get it and works his way for a gain of 10 and a first down for Atlanta.
Now they're going to pick up the pace here because you look at the time ticking in the third quarter. 2:30 left and down by 17.
Ryan stands in, going to let it fly deep again, going for Jones again, and he's got it this time. Julio Jones on the bomb.
So you see Jones working against Lattimore, out and up. Lattimore guesses on the out and drives on it. Jones goes past him, and a well-thrown football by Matt Ryan hitting Julio Jones down the sidelines. Marshall Lattimore has had nice success against Julio Jones, but don't ever expect the Falcons to go away from trying to get it to one of the top receivers in the NFL.
He's over 100 yards now is Julio Jones. He just went over with that catch. 44 on the completion, and now Atlanta in business, trying to get back in the game. Reverse to Gabriel. Tyler Gabriel inside the 10 and a first down. And I want to go back to the bomb to Jones because, Charles, if you pinpoint one thing, one difference from last year, the deep balls have been it. They just haven't connected on those plays this year.
Last year, I believe they're, third in the league in deep passing deep passing completion percentage. Matt Ryan to his guys. This year, they're 26th coming into this game. I go back to preseason when Julio Jones was nursing a foot injury, and they weren't able to get their timing down. And as the season has gone on, Julio hasn't practiced much. They've had him ready for games. Your timing doesn't pick up without practicing on it.
First and goal, Atlanta. Jones, bottom of your screen, matched up against Lattimore again. It's been a great matchup again. Ryan looking over the middle, knocked down. Hau'oli Kikaha. Certainly one of the great names in the league, and he makes a big play.
So watch Kikaha, 44. Looks like he's going to blitz, drops into coverage, reads the eyes of Matt Ryan, and slides inside and gets his left hand on the football, because if he does it, that's right in the breadbasket of Mohamed Sanu, number 12.
Freeman on the run, and he's knocked down inside the 7. We were talking about the deep ball connections for Atlanta. They finally had one. They've tried a couple times today. This is, Charles, what you're mentioning, and that is a monumental difference, and your point is well taken.
I said they were third last year. They were second in the NFL last year. What a steep drop-off for a team with a guy like Julio Jones who can run by just about anyone.
Third and goal. Ryan rolling right, firing right, and it's caught. Waiting for the signal. No touchdown signal. Wow, I thought Jones was in, but they say no. Let's see where he caught it.
His feet are in the end zone, but the ball is not. I don't believe is breaking the plane when he catches the football. And Lattimore does a nice job tackling him to keep him from falling backwards into the end zone.
I think you're right.
Look at the officials. They're right on the spot. And he doesn't have clear possession at that point. Ball's in his hands. He's got to come down with his feet are in the end zone.
Now that looks closer.
Now that's a lot closer.
That replay looks like he may have it, Charles.
That's a lot closer right there.
All right, well, anyway, we'll look at it again. It's the end of the third quarter. We're obviously going to look at this, and so will they, I'm sure. 23 Saints after 3. Back in a moment. Atlanta has challenged this play, and it's ultra close. So we go to Los Angeles with our rules expert, Dean Blandino. Dean, take us through this.
So the issue here is control. When does the receiver gain control of the football and then he's contacted by the defender? He's going to get that forward progress spot. If any part of that football is breaking the plane of the goal line, then we have a touchdown. This is probably the best look down the line. It looks like the ball is breaking the plane of the goal line. It's very close, though.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. The receiver was short of the goal line. 4th down. Atlanta will be charged a timeout and a challenge.
Dean, you were just talking about control, correct? So that's probably why they didn't overturn it. Control the football.
It was very close. You need that look down the line, and they didn't think it was clear and obvious, and that's why the call on the field stood.
And now the play of the game, because it's 4th and goal, and Atlanta has to go down 17.
And they had all that time on the sideline. They should have been discussing what they were going to run in case the call went against them. Let's see what they have dialed up.
Devontae Freeman in the game. They'll run it to Freeman. He's stuffed! Kikaha was there with some help in New Orleans with a monster defensive stand.
Credit the tackler, but credit these guys up front. Watch how they win the line of scrimmage. They bunch everything up. There's no push created by the front line of the Atlanta Falcons, and that allows Kikaha to get in there. There's Jordan, 94. You had Tyler Davis in 95. Sheldon Rankins, 98. Those guys recreated the offensive line, the line of scrimmage, and moved it back and allowed Kikaha and Ken Crawley to get there and make the play.
That was outstanding by the Saints. Cam Jordan, the way he's played all year and today, and that whole line doing the job. So Atlanta today inside the 5-yard line has fumbled and failed to score. Credit to this defense. That is just barely getting out of the end zone that time is Ingram.
And what the Atlanta Falcons did was very similar to New Orleans on the last play. They penetrated the front line of the New Orleans Saints and almost got themselves a safety. Watch Grady Jarrett, 97, slips through. And I think if he doesn't go to his knees, having to get through there, if he's on his feet, he might be able to make a play and create a safety there. Excellent job by slipping the block and making the tackle on Ingram.
Here's Breeze, fake the run, gonna throw, and Snead has that out on the far sideline. And it'll bring up a 3rd down. Saints today on 3rd down have continued their strange struggles. They haven't been good on 3rd down all year, which is weird because Drew Brees and Sean Payton have been great their entire careers. Today, 2 of 8 on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 4.
And you got Ingram and Kamara on the field at the same time. Saints trying to find that matchup to create a 1st down. And here is Kamara at the top.
Breeze, 4-man rush. Steps in, gonna loft one for Thomas. Incomplete, and there is a flag. Poole grabbed him, I think, and that's gonna be on Atlanta.
You don't see a lot of expression from Brian Poole, which often tells you that he might be culpable.
Pass interference, number 34 defense, automatic 1st down.
So watch here, 34 in white, and Thomas goes by, and you see him grabbing him on his hips and riding him through the route.
Penalties have absolutely hurt Atlanta today. 9 for 86 yards. Saints only 1 penalty. They played a clean game. Sean Payton stressing that during the week after they were a little sloppy last week. It's been a big turnaround. Near side. Again. 2nd run of the game. Not much there. Talked about something earlier in the game about just a little while ago. Breeze coming into today, he had thrown 200 less passes than he had in the past. That is a big difference.
Totally reminds me of 2009 when they ran the ball well enough to be 6th in the league in rushing. Allowed Drew Brees to pick his spots throwing it instead of throwing it each and every down.
There you see it.
And you see there in the last 7 seasons. Well, this season, they came into the game 5th in the league in rushing. The numbers are similar.
And today, no different. Kamara spinning away for maybe a yard. I mean, today the Saints have run the ball 24 times, and they've passed it 23 times. I mean, that is exactly what you want, right?
When you talk about balance, it doesn't get much more balance than that. Especially when you talk about the Saints, because it's still hard for teams when they get ready for the Saints to realize that that rushing attack is what you have to plan for equally as well as the passing attack.
There's the play breakdown. Sean Payton has those calls. 3rd and 9. Pressure. Breeze gets rid of it, dumps it off, and Ingram going to be short by a few yards there as Neal and Jones were on the tackles. And the Saints will have to punt it away with under 12 to play. And so now the time obviously is an issue for Atlanta. See if they try and press the tempo a little bit here. Morstead to punt. Roberts makes a man miss, makes another. Andre Roberts, good return into New Orleans territory. So Atlanta set up with good field position, but it's been all Saints today. They've got a 17-point lead here in the fourth. 20-3, the Saints in front of the Falcons. A win today, and they are in the playoffs. And Carolina losing to Tampa right now, so if those two things hold up, New Orleans will win the division today. Falcons with 11:24 to go. They're down 17. They need something, and they need something fast, and they'll dump it off to Coleman on the middle screen. He makes a nice move and gets inside the 35 to the 33.
They're going to have to play fast.
Well, second half, there's been a couple things, right? First of all, Atlanta's about to go in. Freeman fumbles on the 2, so that changed that. Penalties have killed him as Ryan going to throw behind Derek Coleman, incomplete. And then, of course, last time they had the ball, they go down and they get it to Julio Jones. He catches it in the end zone, but the ball is out. Fourth down, they get stuffed.
And it really came down to, I believe, the official saying he didn't have total control as he was coming down, and that took him out of the end zone and took away the potential touchdown. Then they got stumped on the next carry.
And this Saints defense has done a good job. They've held Atlanta to 244 yards.
Can someone else besides Julio Jones make a play in the passing game for Atlanta?
Haven't seen it. Here's Ryan on second down. Over the middle, guns it. It's complete there. And it's a tight end, Hooper. Down to the sidelines with Pam Oliver.
Hey there, Kevin. Well, if things don't change significantly for the Falcons offense, that will create a lot of questions about the potency of this group under new offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian. His counterpart, well, he tells us that there's a slight change in philosophy, and they're just not in sync in the passing game as they were before.
Well, it showed, Pam. 3rd and 7. Ryan stands in. He's got a man wide open, but it's high and it's dropped. Gabriel was wide open, and they couldn't make the connection.
And to Pam's point about being in sync in the passing game, in 2016, that's not just a completion. Taylor Gabriel's still running. In 2017, it's a little high, slightly behind him, and he can't haul it in.
Amazing. So now it's Matt Bryant trying to get Atlanta a little bit closer. This will be a 48-yard try to make it a 2-score game. And Bryant's kick is up, and it hangs in there, and it's good. So it's a 2-touchdown lead for New Orleans, 10:18 to go. Falcons get a little closer. That's where we stand right now in the NFC South. The Saints in control of 2 touchdowns here today. The winner of this game is in the playoffs. And then to add the caveat, if Carolina loses to Tampa, which they are losing right now by 4, and New Orleans hangs on, New Orleans will win the division because they beat Carolina twice this year. Now, the repercussions for the Falcons are obviously a loss would hurt, but they would still have a chance to make the playoffs. They've got no easy task. They've got Carolina next weekend. What this would do is that all of a sudden Dallas and Seattle and Detroit would be like, oh, now they're kind of back in the mix. Charles, 2 great bowl games coming your way this week. I know you'll be watching. Wednesday on Fox, Arizona takes on Purdue. Washington State, Michigan State will be Thursday on FS1 in the Holiday Bowl.
Have you seen Khalil Tate play quarterback for Arizona? I mean, he's a great anomaly in terms of his ability to run the football as well as throw it. Much more effective that way for Arizona. He really revived their season. And there's a dynamic duo that's had trouble throughout the game getting fully going against this New Orleans Saints defense. Now it's up to the Atlanta defense. And earlier in the game, we talked about them just making tackles, sure tackles. Now look for them to go for the football. Try and strip it out, rake it out, and try and create a takeaway.
Fake to Kamara, they'll throw it. Pressure on Breeze. Steps up, gets it to Kamara in the pass game, and he's belted by Keanu O'Neal. So Drew Brees, you do a Saints game, Charles, and you almost run out of accolades to say, right? I mean, look at this. Season streaks with 4,000-plus yards, 12 in a row. Give you a little idea where that stands. Peyton Manning at 8. Now Matthew Stafford, 7. 12 in a row of over 4,000 yards. He just keeps doing it. Named to the Pro Bowl, leads the league in completions. And those are updated, by the way.
Don't forget, 5 seasons in his career, over 5,000 yards.
And now over 70,000 for his career today. That happened earlier. And I could probably just keep talking for the next couple of hours.
Of Drew Brees' records. But this brings up a big third down for the Atlanta defense. Now they can get their pass rushers on the field. They've got to find a way to either create a takeaway or get off the field and get the ball back for their offense.
And they have held in these spots. New Orleans only 2 of 9 on third down today.
New Orleans taking as much time as possible as the clock continues to tick at 9:13 and counting.
Brees has time. Going to loft it deep for Thomas. Oh, what a catch! Are you serious? Michael Thomas.
So how about Drew Brees? You just talked about the accolades. How about his ability to adjust during? He wants a route to the, watch him, to the left. He wanted Deion Jones guarding Alvin Kamara. Didn't have it and came off of it and threw it right over the helmet of number 34, Brian Poole, who has good coverage, but he knows he can't locate the football because he can't turn around and find it. So he throws it over his helmet and lets Michael Thomas make the play.
I mean, that is pretty. 27 yards to Thomas, and that'll have the Saints try to run some clock as Kamara breaks a tackle, and a penalty flies late. And this may be coming back.
Holding. Number 71 offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's on Ryan Ramczyk. Just a second penalty on New Orleans here today.
He's had a nice rookie season himself as Ryan Ramczyk. So we see how Ole Kakaha headed towards the locker room. He's done a nice job filling in for A.J. Klein at outside linebacker. You can't really replace Klein because of his leadership and signal calling. But Kakaha, normally a defensive end, goes back to his college roots at outside linebacker. Made a nice pass breakup earlier in the game, as well as a big tackle on 4th down.
And so a 1st and 20. Ingram. He is taken down immediately. That's Deion Jones. Boy, is he some player. And a 2nd down coming up.
He's so fast as Deion Jones here at linebacker. I think he got a little help initially. Oh, no, he did not. Just shot the gap. And then Grady Jarrett helped clean up at the end. But Jones just sees the play. And we've seen that from him and his counterpart for the Saints today, Manti Te'o. Their ability to read, time the snap count, and get through the line of scrimmage before anyone can get a hand on him and make the play in the backfield.
He's 10 years old here, had to flee when Katrina hit. His family fled to Mississippi. Well, he knows this town all too well. Here's Brees in trouble and throws it away as Claiborne was right on him. And a 3rd down and 22, and maybe more importantly for Atlanta, the clock stops. America's Game of the Week coming up next. And both Seattle and Dallas are kind of salivating right now because an Atlanta loss, they have to have them lose both for them to get in. So they're liking today's result.
As if that game needed much more intensity after what happened to Seattle last week at home against the Rams. They want to atone, and Dallas is starting to put it together, and they get Ezekiel Elliott back.
He was training in Cabo for 6 weeks.
Well, if someone tells me after training Cabo, I think the answer is going to be yes.
I would agree. Near side, Ginn looking for blocks. Patient running. Ted Ginn is going to be taken out of bounds. And the clock will start running when the ball comes back into play because they're not at the 5-minute mark yet, but it'll stop it temporarily. And there you go. So 4th down, Atlanta will get the ball back, and that's what they're working with. Down 2 touchdowns, 6:40 to go, 2 timeouts.
Here, if you're a special teams coach and you're wondering with your head coach, do you go for a pump block here? Do you try and go for the big play? Or are you still in a position where get the football and turn it over to Matty Ice?
About to find out. Morstead to punt it. Gets off a good one. High kick, fair catch inside the 10. So a lot of work to do for the Falcons. Saints on Christmas Eve. Up big. Saints 20, Falcons 6, 6:10 to go in the ball game. Winner is in the playoffs. And if New Orleans gets help by Carolina loss and they're losing and this holds up, they would win the division today. Coleman the back in motion. Here's Ryan, 4-man rush, stands in complete, but that is not going to go very far. Boy, Manti Te'o has had a great game.
He has really played well over the last 3 games for the New Orleans Saints. Just sitting in the short zone, catches the crossing route, and Tevin Coleman makes the catch, but he makes him pay for it.
Ryan, pressure on the edges, steps up and gets sacked. 3rd sack of the day for the Saints.
You know, Sean Payton as an offensive play caller is extremely aggressive, and he wants his defensive coordinators the same way. In fact, he tells them a lot of times, I want you to blitz more. That's what he tells Dennis Allen. But at this stage of the game, I think he's getting off of that, and so is Dennis Allen. All I'm seeing are zone coverages now from New Orleans, and the Atlanta receivers are not finding places to get open.
We had a penalty that I did not see at all. Did you see it?
No.
And
so they called a legal substitution against Atlanta, trying to get their personnel packages in.
That what it is, and the microphone did not go on there for Pete Morelli, and now this crowd is in a frenzy. Ryan, here's a stunt. He's in trouble. He gets out of the safety, but it's a sack. Sheldon Rankins.
So watch the interior guys. Watch 98 Rankins. He pushes the pocket against Alex Mack and opens things up for number 90 George Johnson, who they just acquired last week before the Jets game. And right now, George Johnson cannot understand how he missed Rat Ryan and not putting him down in the end zone. I mean, he had a clear shot. Ryan did a really nice job getting past him to avoid the safety.
Tommy Lee Lewis salivating right now as Bosch will punt from the back of his own end zone. This is Lewis, short punt. Look at this, from the 42. And Lewis all the way down to the 31. Charles, there's a lot of things after this game of your Atlanta, this holds, that you're going to look back on, right? But I mean, we'll start here. After the interception by Deion Jones sets him up, they're down 10, fumble inside the 5. Then this, no call on that.
Yeah, they pick up the flag on that one and still haven't figured that out. Julio Jones, they don't give him the touchdown with the strong hands. And the very next play, Devontae Freeman is stuffed. And then there's Taylor Gabriel coming across field, has a great chance to catch it and keep going. Drops the football.
Little Grinch sign on this Christmas Eve. And New Orleans now looking to run this out. 4 minutes to go. Kamara in the game. Great field position at the 33. Here's Alvin Kamara. And somehow sneaks through everyone. And he's going to pick up 3 yards. And a penalty flag. The sideline looked like Trufant and Thomas were jawing at each other.
I think they did a little more than talk about it down there, Kevin. I think that they got at it a little bit. See Thomas, number 13, working against Trufant. They're getting at each other pretty well.
Number 13 defense, personal foul. Offense, penalties will offset. 2nd down.
And you notice Trufant really threw a shot back at him, didn't connect. But the clock stops there, which is something New Orleans didn't want to have happen. Plays better to the advantage of the Falcons. And you see Curtis Johnson down there, the wide receivers coach. He's pointing at the clock and saying, hey, what are we doing here? Let's have some poise.
A couple weeks ago on a Thursday night, Atlanta won that game 20-17. But you think about how different this game is felt. New Orleans just dominating most areas. Penalties roll against New Orleans that week. They're all against Atlanta today. And we get a penalty on this Ingram run, and that may be coming on back. This has been a
holding. Number 75 offense, 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
This has been a bitter rivalry for quite some time, especially with the fan bases. But I think, at this point, if you're Sean Payton, you got to be like, all right, up by 2 scores here. Let's just relax a little.
Well, the tough part is they were whipped into a frenzy from the moment they left Atlanta.
You're right.
Because they thought that was a game that was theirs. Statistically, the way they played, and somehow they come away with a loss. And they've been pointing towards it ever since. I mean, they pretty much looked past the Jets last week. Pretty sloppy. They came in for this one, so it's hard to drop that intensity down when they've been pointing towards it for a few weeks.
So after the penalty, it's a 2nd and 17. Here's Breeze. Quick hitter over the middle. Thomas, good adjustment behind him, but he makes the catch and he's down to the 30 for a makeable 3rd down. We have another game break. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. We're going to go to Tennessee. Rams down 3 in the 4th when Jared Goff finds Cooper Kupp in the back of the end zone, able to get his knee down for the score. Rams lead 27-23, looking to win their division for the first time since 2003. Kevin?
Wow. It's been a long time for the Rams. They haven't been in the playoffs since 2004. So this is what happened last time. We tried to show just a moment ago. Okay, first downs by penalty. Atlanta had 9 of them. Kamara was hurt the first series. Obviously, he's been a humongous factor today. And then Thomas had 10 catches last time. He's been quiet. Today, Kamara, you see, 87 total scrimmage yards. Penalties, the complete opposite. And then Atlanta has botched 2 trips inside the 5-yard line where they came away with absolutely nothing.
It feels like Kamara's had more yardage, but his impact has been huge because you have to account for him every time he's out there, and it's opened it up for other players to make plays, including a Ted Ginn.
Yeah, he also had that 49-yard kick return, don't forget, too. He's been a factor everywhere. 3rd down, they'll pitch it to him here. Kamara makes a man miss, but he's shy. First down, ball's loose. It's on the ground, but they say Kamara was down. And so New Orleans in field goal range certainly here as Atlanta calls a timeout. Take a look at that last play. He is down.
Yep, going down and being contacted.
So the Falcons called their final timeout. 3:38 to go. And barring a miracle, this field goal would pretty much put it out of reach. It would make it a 3-score game. That's important. Tampa trying to pull the upset over Carolina because if those 2 scores hold, New Orleans wins the division today. Also, Carolina means for them, they're trying to clinch today, Charles. They're
the playoffs.
They're not assured of it now.
No.
It's going to be a 45-yarder from Will Lutz to make it a 3-score game. Snap and hold, good. Kick is up. Kick is good. 17-point lead for the Saints. Relive one of the best pay-per-views of the year, the special presentation of UFC 218. Tonight, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on FS1 as the playoff picture looks like this. Minnesota won in Lambeau, so the Eagles play tomorrow night. If they win, they clinch home field advantage. Rams, we just showed you with Carissa, they're winning. They would win the division. The Saints, as it stands right now, would win the division. With the Falcons and Panthers losing, all of a sudden everybody else on your right is in play. Hopefully that'll sum it up, Charles Davis.
And Detroit is down 2 in Cincinnati with less than 5 minutes to go. So if they want to stay in play, they've got to find a way to reverse that.
How about the Saints? 7-9, 3 years running, trying to find their way. First few games of the year, they got off to a rough start. They won in London, they had the bye, and then they've been invigorated, reinvigorated maybe since then. They've been one of the best teams in the league trying to win the division here today. You're always coming to New Orleans talking about Drew Brees, and rightfully so, but this Saints defense has been really superb.
Since the first 2 games were played, and they've really struggled. Minnesota on a Monday night to open up,
New England blew
New
them
England
out.
blew them out at home. The only loss they've had here in the Superdome all year. Since then, that defense has been magnificent in many aspects of the season. And one of the things that they do really well is they slow down offenses by deflections, knocking balls away. Cam Jordan had 4 himself last week. And it makes them run extra plays. They're almost like a college basketball team on defense, knocking the ball away and stalling offenses.
I like that. It's a good call. Here's Matt Ryan. They need a miracle. Looking for something here. Everything's been hard today. It's Coleman who gets it. And he's out of bounds, but they will run the clock. They say he's inbounds. Charles, to me, you're so good at making the analogies of other sports. To me, this year, the Falcons feel like the Chicago Cubs. And I know the Cubs won it, so that part is different. The Falcons came up short. But for the Cubs this year, I'll get to it after this. Ryan to throw. Has time. And we have a incompletion. Cubs got all the way to the LCS, but everything was hard.
Yes.
And for this year for Atlanta, everything's been hard.
It's been a slog. I mean, in a lot of ways, and you made that analogy to me a few weeks ago, and it has held true. I thought it was a perfect analogy. But that slog, they've actually, in some ways, it doesn't make sense. -4 in turnovers coming into the game. No other team close to them in the minus side has a winning record, let alone a chance to go to the playoffs. So it's just been a different year for Atlanta entirely.
3rd and 3. Ryan. 4-man rush. There's some pressure. He's going to throw it far side, and it's going to be incomplete. He was going for Gabriel. It was Crawley on the coverage. And Atlanta on 4th down will obviously go.
Watch Crawley, number 20, in coverage against Gabriel. And he turns his back to him, but he watches Gabriel react, and then he gets his hands up, and the ball actually hits Crawley in the back. If he doesn't touch Gabriel ahead of time, there's no interference. And he really swallowed him up on the route with his size, and Gabriel couldn't come back and make a play on the ball.
For all intents and purposes, this is the game. Blitz. Ryan sees it, throws complete. Julio Jones, room to run for Julio. Into Saints territory and all the way down inside the 35. They'll mark him out at the 31.
Probably the best route that they've run all day is Julio Jones on a shallow cross, trying to get the ball in his hands early, and he did that versus their zone defense. Marshawn Lattimore not man-to-man on that one, and Julio Jones makes a big play and keeps hope alive for the Atlanta Falcons.
Charles, you pointed this out a long time ago. He's done his part. He's got 7 catches, 149 yards. They just have had nobody else today.
No one else has been able to step up and fill the breach.
He's more than half their offense today. Throwing far side to Hardy, who makes the catch, and he's out near a 1st down. Let's see where they spot him out of bounds. That's the first catch for Justin Hardy. And Atlanta, that is a 1st down, so they will hustle up and get to the line.
Be able to get out of bounds so they can take a breath here and get the right play call in.
Keep in mind, even if the Falcons lose today, they still have destiny in their hands. If they win next week, they'd still be in the playoffs.
They hold a lot of tiebreakers.
Certainly make it a lot harder. And now we get time. So, we talked about the Saints team, the turnaround, the defense, after that bye, how they really got it going. How good are they, Charles? How do we rank them in the grand scheme of the NFL? We know they're going to be a playoff team if they win.
I'll keep it in the NFC because everyone is wondering where these teams shake out.
Yeah.
Philadelphia's leading the pack, Minnesota leading the pack. But both of them are doing it with backup quarterbacks, even though both of them have played well recently, especially Case Keenum for Minnesota. He's had a magnificent year. But it allows teams to feel like they might be slightly vulnerable. The New Orleans Saints have one of the all-time greats at quarterback in Drew Brees. That gives them extra confidence, plus a defense that takes the ball away from people. They came into the game with 16 interceptions. That's been a huge difference for their team this season.
That sure has. Here's Ryan on 1st down. Coming over the middle, incomplete. Game break time. Let's check in again with Carissa.
Thanks, Kevin. Letting you guys know what's coming up next. America's Game of the Week. Seahawks getting fired up. It is a must-win game for both of these teams. And here you go, a holiday gift for Cowboys fans. He's back. All coming up next, you guys.
Carissa, thanks. We appreciate it. Elliott is back.
Do you do Cabo to Dallas direct, or do you change?
Well, when he goes to Cabo, he works out. I drink margaritas. We're a little different. Second and 10. Here's Ryan looking to throw. And he's got a completion. Sanu out on the far side will stop the clock down at the 14. With 2:44 to play. Falcons out of timeouts and obviously down large, down 17.
Listen, they fought the entire way. It's never been an issue of effort for the Falcons today. They kept themselves in this game a lot longer than maybe some of their play and errors dictated. They've managed to hang in there. Dan Quinn has no issue with that, I'm sure. Execution will be something else he'll talk about.
3rd and 3. Ryan, blitz coming, sees it, unloads to Coleman, who walks in for a touchdown. They beat the blitz that time, and the Falcons not done quite yet.
And this is something we thought we would see more of today. Running backs in the passing game. Watch Coleman get out to the flat. They end up getting some pressure from P.J. Williams, the nickel back, off of the edge, and no one's able to rotate out there and take Tevin Coleman out in the flat. Frankly, I thought we'd see more passes to the backs today versus this New Orleans defense than we have seen from Atlanta.
So Bryant on for the extra point, and it's good. So Falcons down by 10. Obviously, the time where it is 2:40, they're going to need a couple of onside kicks. We opened this game, Charles, talking about the running backs in this game. We'll get to that in a second. We've got to tell you about the pay-per-view, which is coming your way. Special presentation, UFC 218. It's tonight at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on FS1. Do that while you're sipping your eggnog. But the running backs in this game have been a big factor. The only difference is, while the Saints have gotten plenty from Kamara and from Ingram like they have all year long, the Falcons haven't gotten much from Freeman and from Coleman. That touchdown was Stanley. 48 yards total rushing from that duo for Atlanta. So the Saints put one man back. You would expect an onside kick. It is in the middle of the field. It's a pretty good one. Look out, Kamara going after it. And they do recover indeed. It's Ginn who's back there. He was kind of the center fielder there. He did his job, and New Orleans will try and run it out.
You know, coming out of high school, Ted Ginn was the National Player of the Year as a defensive back. Flipped over to offense at Ohio State. So he's used to being back there and playing that little center field you just described.
Looked very comfortable back there. Of course, you go all the way back to that, Charles, for the half, right? I mean, Lattimore had the interception off his gluteus maximus, which was impressive in its own right, and then they go the bomb to Ginn. It changed the whole feel going into the break. Instead of 6-0, it was 13-0. And then, of course, some craziness in this half, and Drew Brees going to take a knee. And right now, just to update you on the Carolina game, Carolina's got the ball, under a minute to go. They're down by 4. They are in the red zone, so obviously they need a touchdown, so they may end at the same time. We'll let you know. Maybe in a minute the Saints win the division. And again, Atlanta, despite this, they still control their playoff destiny. They've got Carolina next week. If they win, they'll be in. That'll take us down to the 2-minute warning from the Superdome. Hasn't been the greatest of Christmas Eves for Atlanta, but for the New Orleans Saints, oh yeah, they like their present so far. Saints have the football. They are just looking to finish this thing out. 2 minutes to go. No timeouts for Atlanta. They are in victory formation. They will take a knee, and they're watching the Carolina score. Carolina is knocking on the door with we're just told a 4th down and 1 in the red zone. They're down by 4 with 36 seconds to go, so we're waiting to find out what happens there. And if Carolina scores, well, then the division keeps going. If Carolina loses, the Saints will win it right here, right now. And Carolina got a 1st down at the 2.
All right, who do you think is getting the ball in this play?
I'm going to say it's going to stay with the
big
quarterback.
1?
Yeah.
I think that'd be a wise call by Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator.
We may send you right there with Kenny Albert and Rondé Barber as soon as this one is officially over. Breeze will take another knee. With this victory, the Saints are a playoff team. Now just waiting on the Carolina score to see if they actually win the division today or not. I'd like to wish you and your families a Merry Christmas. Pam Oliver, Charles Davis, Kevin Burkhardt, our entire NFL on Fox crew. Certainly to you and yours, my friend.
Same to you and yours, to everyone with our crew, and to everyone who's watching us today. Merry Christmas. And how about this Saints team, though? Preseason, they were the consensus pick for last in this division.
Yeah, I think people got that one wrong. I think that you got to give a lot of credit here. Sean Payton, he said, wait, can't go on the field yet, Mr. Camera Person. A lot of Payton, a lot of credit to Sean Payton, a lot of credit to Dennis Allen. How about to Mickey Loomis? Because they had one of the best drafts that anyone's had in the last 10 years.
Look what they got out of it. Marshall Lattimore, rookie corner, is going to the Pro Bowl. Alvin Kamara, rookie runner in the 3rd round, going to the Pro Bowl. Ryan Ramczyk, left offensive tackle, been a starter from day one. Alex Anzalone got hurt early, but he was a starter at linebacker.
Right. So they do have to punt.
Safety, they had a monster draft.
They've all been monster. Atlanta's just going for the block here. They have no choice. Morstead just wants to get it away, and he does just that.
He gets the right roll, he can help his average out a little.
He can, but it stops right on the 35 with 24 seconds to go. Falcons down 10 out of timeouts. Our director, Artie Kempner, our producer, Pete Macheska, Associate Director, Eric Mandia. And Carolina has scored. Wow. Unbelievable.
So Jeff Ireland, the assistant general manager, former GM in this league with the Miami Dolphins. They've done a fantastic job in player personnel and identifying guys, and also the coaching staff getting them up and ready to play right away.
Here's Ryan to fire it to Freeman, will roll out of bounds. Anyway, yeah, finish the thought. Panthers have scored. There's, what, 30 seconds left? 35 seconds left. So if that holds, the division will be in the balance until next weekend. Carolina and Atlanta, and New Orleans against Tampa. But the Saints and Panthers with wins today are both in. A lot of scenarios, Charles. A lot of scenarios.
Reminded me of a movie where they had a conference on the baseball mound, and at the end of it, the lead character said, "We're dealing with a lot of stuff here." And you just juggled that adroitly.
Ryan hit as he throws, incomplete with 14 seconds to go. Cameron Jordan was there, just like he's been all season long. 2 sacks today for him.
And he rightly should get a strong consideration for NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
He's been magnificent from day one.
He's a lot of things. He's also played the 2nd most snaps in the league.
I loved his quote this week. His father, Steve, was a tight end with the Minnesota Vikings.
And a good one.
A very good. Went to 6 Pro Bowls. Cam Jordan made his 3rd one this week. Did you see his quote?
Yes, I did.
Since that's my 3rd, my dad went to 6. I'm now half the man my father is.
Well done. He's a character, Cam Jordan.
He's unique.
2nd down, 13 seconds. Ryan gets it over to Sanu, gets out of bounds with 9 seconds left. And so again, as tough as this is for Falcons fans, they still have destiny in their own hands. They win at home against Carolina next weekend, and they're in. And potentially 3 NFC South teams in the postseason. Look at Ted Ginn Jr. is already in the celebrating mode for Christmas.
Well, he helped them get there today with that long play right before the end of the first half. The long pass for a touchdown from Drew Brees.
54 yards, indeed. 9 seconds left. Ryan in trouble. Down it goes! Sheldon Rankins, another sack, and that will do it. The Saints victorious. They're in the playoffs. All right, we'll get you filled in on the other games right now to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Saints win it. Merry Christmas. See you next week.